What's up, everybody? Dan here. Crypto Capital Venture, October 1st, 2018. Took a few days off, and I have to say it felt pretty amazing. So I'm going to start off this video very nicely with 2 points. Number one, if you're a replay viewer, timestamps below in the comment section, in the pinned comment for technical analysis. So you can go right to technical analysis if that's what you're here for. Secondly, I want to answer really the title of this live stream, which is Bitcoin and Litecoin preparation analysis you need to know. I'm just going to lay it down straight. The analysis that you need to know is not to listen to technical analysis on the internet, on YouTube, that are making predictions of, whether or not Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever cryptocurrency is going up or down. Nobody in the entire world knows where Bitcoin and Litecoin is going to go. With that being said, technical analysis serves some really powerful purposes, and we're going to talk about that in this video. And really, there are some clues into possible directions and possible targets. And with that in mind, then you make your decision on if you're happy with your portfolio or not. And that's really the simplicity of it. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So like I said, if you're a replay viewer, go right to those timestamps because I like to hang out and chat a little bit with everybody in the chats. And we're going to start off this video by going through just an article and some tweets on Twitter. So I saw Tech Lords. What's up, Tech Lords? I saw you here earlier, right when I tweeted, man. What's up, man? Thanks for coming by. Jesse Sterling. Utah is in the house. What's up, Jesse? The Hive Channel 7. What's up, man? B Smooth says, I had to leave Bitcoin Ben. My head burst. He's talking about some kind of crystals. Tech Lords, what's up, dude? Tech Lords with a 0.17 LTC super LTC chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Poseidon Lou's here, and he is everywhere, as he says. What's up, everybody? Josh Wallace. I hope I didn't go live. Is Bitcoin live? Is he live right now, Bitcoin Ben? Every time I go live, he's live. Shoot. What's up, Boston? D March. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. We're going to have some fun tonight. I had a few days off, and it feels good to be back. Luis Lopez. What's up from Compton? What's up, Compton? So I'm going to start off with a quick little article. It's kind of a bullish sounding article, but I think it makes a really good point, which is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are on the verge of a breakout. The reason why is FOMO, and I slightly agree with that if we do break out. One reason, not the main reason for a bull run. So it says, it goes without saying that the performance of Bitcoin, along with its altcoin brethren, have been lackluster, with the collective market valuation down a jaw-dropping 70% in the past 9 months. But even amidst this downtrend, adoption rates have surged. True. Adoption rates have surged. It's crazy to see the building that is taking place right now. While the development and maturation of crypto-focused infrastructure have also seen their fair share of progress, look no further than Wall Street's recently renewed interest in this market, as prominent banks like Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Citigroup have begun to allocate resources to the creation and development of cryptocurrency vehicles. It goes on. Here's a nice little quote. Green, who currently holds a position as the CEO of DeVere Group, says, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are, I believe, on the verge of a true global breakout. This is largely due to FOMO, the fear of missing out. Adoption is increasing all the time. It goes on. The executive of the financial consultant service, which has taken a focus on cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, went on to add that institutions, whether financial or retail focused, have begun to involve themselves into this technology as aforementioned. It's also a bull market in institutions, building the infrastructure needed for real money investors to start investing in the space. I think that in 3 to 6 months from now, there will be an all clear sign for people, big institutions and pension funds, to start investing. I agree. There is going to be that okay, and the doorway's open. Don't know exactly when. This says, keeping this factor in mind, the CEO pointed out that the institutions may begin to FOMO into this market come January 2019, which may spark yet another round of exponential growth through the influx of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars, and maybe even trillions. trillions. I have no doubt about that. I mean, you can see like my pinned tweet on my profile. Trillions will come. Obviously, nobody can say exactly when. And the end of this, right? Maybe even trillions. It makes me think of Winklevoss twins, $4 trillion, saying that's possible soon, shortly. Dan Moorhead, Pantera Capital, 40 trillion, possible, right? Sky's the limit in terms of who comes into this market and how high it grows and how quick it grows. The only factor that none of us know is when. And that's the volatility aspect of it too. That's the roller coaster ride aspect of it. And it's the clashing of the bulls and bears, the haters versus the believers. You see it on all over social media. It's happening. People going at it. Just going at it so hard. What's up, Tups T? What's up? So let's move over to Twitter, because I took a poll today because I was just curious like what everybody's thoughts were. I said one more leg down, and there's still 17 hours left in the poll, but there were over 400 votes, and so far 58% of you who voted say that they think there is another leg down. So it makes me not feel as bad to kind of also think that way. I really do think, I think we have one more leg down. I could be wrong. That's just what I think. That's not a prediction. That's not me telling you what to do with your investments. That's just literally me, little old Dan in Pennsylvania, thinking that there is maybe one more leg down before the rocket ship. $2 from Tita Wuga. This is for keeping Litecoin nice and frosty. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, man. I appreciate that super chat, and I like that. This is for keeping Litecoin nice and frosty. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I appreciate everybody that's here right now. If you're here, hit that like button. Smash that like button. Let's get some flow into this live stream. Crypcola says, Dan lives in PA. I do live in PA. Drew Blood 21 is here. What's up, Drew Blood? And Chris, this is it. Chris Jag says, this is legit one of the most indecisive moments in 2018 where we don't know where the market is going. I 100% agree. I mean, it's like the indecisiveness, right? The unknown right now is so crazy. Usually, when we're in these crazy downtrends and it's happening fast, it's like, all right, like put your seatbelt on because we're going down and it's going to get even worse and even messier. And like everybody's prepared for it. But right now we've kind of really consolidated pretty crazily. Giggles and Games says, are you friends with Bitcoin Ben? Man, everybody's talking about Bitcoin Ben. Bitcoin Ben. So what was pretty cool is I was getting set up at the Litecoin Summit in one of the back rooms for, I did a bunch of interviews and stuff. And he was in the back room with me, just drinking some coffee. I was setting up my cameras. And we were chatting for a bit, and that's kind of like that's when I met Bitcoin Ben, and we just had a really cool, genuine, just laid back chat about life, about crypto, obviously, and I enjoyed our chat. I really did. I enjoyed talking with Bitcoin Ben. The problem is I keep going live. I think when he's going live, so I got to go to his channel before I go live and make sure he's not live. So. One more leg down. Most of you so far in this poll, and I don't think it's going to change, 58% think it's going down. It's all good, everybody. It's all good, even if we do. Rob says, most indecisive I've ever been on the market. You can make a case for both directions. I'm going to say no and prepare for both scenarios. I like it. That's like a perfect approach. Just prepare for both scenarios. So many people say 6K is the bottom. It's held there every time, which could really play into why 6K, if we break it, can get really messy because so many people are looking to it as support. I also, and we're going to kind of start pivoting into the technical analysis and the charts, and we're going to look at that stuff, but I also tweeted, when was this? September 30th, so this was yesterday. I said, tip of the day, removing motion from markets. Option 1, choose to see what you want to see and have a 50% chance of being right based on hope of a bull market, because I do see a lot of people, like, they're literally their eyes are only set on the bull market. Their eyes are only set on going up, and I feel like they're preparing their portfolios for that, and they're not preparing it for the possible downside. So that leads us to option 2, which is be prepared for either scenario realistically happening and know what you're going to do. It's very simple. So there's option 1, it's just going up, and there's option 2, you're kind of ready for both directions. That is literally, that's it. That's the key to it all. And then when I tweeted that, I got it was a nice tweet, but somebody replied and said, respectfully, it must be used to make predictions because otherwise there would be no use for it. TA, technical analysis, is people trying to make predictions off of volume, RSI, and other indicators and denying it for some reason. If you aren't trying to predict what might happen, what is TA for? And I replied and I retweeted this, and I thought it's a good conversation happening, right? I know a lot of people think this way, and it's all good. I said TA is for analyzing patterns and possibilities on the downside and upside. It's for analyzing patterns and possibilities on the downside and upside. This allows you to evaluate your risk tolerance, assess your portfolio, and prepare for every possibility. That's it. It's all about preparation. TA for predictions sets you up for failure because when your predictions based on TA are wrong, you're in trouble. TA for preparedness sets you up for success. It's really simple. It really is simple. And the charts are like this underlying foundation, of confidence, right? Like when you have a sense and you have your thumb on the pulse of like the markets and how it's moving, and you're analyzing it. You have that technical analysis, you have these data points. It gives you confidence in just kind of evaluating the market and feeling good with your position, feeling comfortable with your position, knowing if it goes up where it may go to, knowing if it goes down where it may go to. This is not about predictions. This game is not about predictions. And if you're watching YouTube channels that are throwing out predictions, I'm not going to tell you to like not watch them, but just be careful. That's all I will say. But I gotta really like underline this video by saying that I don't do technical analysis for predictions. I just don't. I do it for my own comfort, for my own sanity in this crazy, crazy market. And there it is. There's the crazy, crazy market. This is Bitcoin back in the bear market, and we always revisit it because that's what we do. Technical analysis, revisiting data points, revisiting the flow, the movement, the momentum of Bitcoin, because this is the flow, the momentum, and the movement of human emotion. It does not change, right? So here's the bear market. And I want to just point really a simple point out, which is when we finally kind of started breaking out of that bottom in that bear market last time, you can see we broke out, right? We broke the trend line, this long-term trend line in this bear market. We finally broke it. And we saw resistance. And back then it was like kind of a key resistance right around $300 for Bitcoin. And what happened was 2 things. Number 1, we bounced off the resistance and we came back down. But number 2, when we came back down, we revisited the trend line. We revisited the trend line, the upper trend line. So we broke through it, and we came down and we bounced off of it for support. It is literally the picture perfect move of exiting a bear market. And that's what happened in that last bear market. So I really kind of want to just take that and move over now to that's the weekly chart on Bitcoin in the bear market. And now here's the weekly chart on this bear market. So hypothetically speaking, it's one thing that we are looking for. And this is part of why technical analysis plays into preparedness, because the first thing we are looking for, everybody's looking for, whether you have your trend line from right here, you have it from here, you have it from here. The trend line is that trend line, right? Like that's what everybody's looking to break right now. So that's the first area that we're looking to break. So with that happening, and we talk about this all the time, whether it's a continuation pattern, a symmetrical triangle, descending triangle, when we're getting a breakout, and we break out the upper trend line, for me, conservatively, many people will get a confirmed break through the trend line, and they'll start buying, and that's fine. They'll start buying, and they'll maybe have some, maybe they'll have an exit at their target, and that's fine. But for accumulation purposes, what I talked about before is more conservatively, possibly waiting for a revisit back down to the trend line again, because often it comes back down, right? No matter what's trading, we'll revisit the upper trend line where it broke out. And you can see it's exactly what happened in that bear market when we broke out of that. We revisited, we came down. So when we broke out, we were up I think 50%. I think that's 50% right there. Up 50% in a month. And then over the next month and a half, we came back down 35%. So it's a pretty big retracement. And I just want to throw this out there that could happen again. So that's the first thing on the weekly. That's a possible bull market scenario. I think it's easy to consciously or subconsciously think, all right, we're consolidating. If we get the breakout, it's happening. And by January, we're going to be just going straight up, right? And we're going to be at a $15,000 Bitcoin in November 15th. And whether you're thinking that subconsciously or consciously, it's not the most realistic way to think about this. You have to think about the movement of Bitcoin, whether we're in an uptrend or not. These things right here, they don't always happen. They don't happen often, right? So just kind of be careful in the long term in preparing your portfolio for that breakout that everybody's waiting for. So moving on to Bitcoin Daily, there are just some things, the Bitcoin Daily chart, although Bitcoin Daily or Crypto Daily, he's got a good channel, man. He's got a good channel. So I have some notes on the screen because honestly, this is a descending triangle that many, many people are looking at. And I have two kind of on the screen. I have one, which is a longer term triangle. And then I have a shorter term one, which is kind of the one I'm watching, this highlighted green triangle. So how can a descending triangle be bullish? And I asked that question because descending triangles are known to be, they're bearish triangles, they're bearish formations, right? It's usually, especially in a continued trend, a continued downtrend. So there are times, however, when a descending triangle can be bullish. So let's kind of tell that story because it's it's probably the most important part of this technical analysis video that I put together, and I put some notes here. The notes are indecisiveness, right, which is what's in the market right now. Somebody literally said it at the beginning of this live stream. Indecisiveness and contraction, that consolidation within the triangle apex. So right here, what's happening right now, and I'm trying to get my rectangle. So you can see it. Look how small we're getting here. It's getting crazy. Come on. All right. So it's squeezing into this little channel. And look how wide it was before, and it's just squeezed. It's contracted, right? So all that is happening within the apex right now. So this is going to lead to a couple things. And namely, we're going to talk about what it can lead to in terms of a bullish move. So first, it leads to shorts adding to their position because many, many shorts, whether it's a human or a bot, are basically hey, we're in this descending triangle. This is a bearish pattern, and we're getting to the apex. We're 75% to the apex if you're looking at this big triangle. 75% to the apex is this white line right here. This is 75%. So people are hey, we're getting to the apex of this triangle, and it's a bearish triangle. So shorts are going to start loading on. So that's the first thing that this consolidation leads to. That and they're adding on because they're waiting for a breakdown out of the bearish triangle. So that will lead to support, right? Support right here, the bottom of the triangle right here, being critically tested. And you just saw a Twitter comment. Somebody said we're not going below $6,000 area because we haven't broken. And what they're talking about is we haven't broke this whole channel down here, right? That's a key support area for everybody. Now shorts that are piling on at the end of this apex are believing that we're going to break down. So that's what happens next in this process as we get into this consolidated apex. Now that leads to this. If support holds, right? So if we actually do come down here and support holds, like that person said on Twitter, right? Whether it's a couple bounces, whether it's a nice hard bounce off at the end of this apex, it could be back over here where we support again. I don't know when it's going to happen, but if support holds, then that's when longs are going to just pour in on volume, right? That's going to drag the price back up wherever it happens. I don't know, but if support holds, the longs start pouring in. They're looking at that support. The market's getting bullish. Maybe some news comes out, something like that. And then the longs come in, and guess what happens? The shorts have to cover. The shorts are getting squeezed. And then all of a sudden we're like in this environment of like breakout mode. We break the top of this triangle, and then you know what happens in this space. News goes crazy, people go crazy, and then people start FOMOing in, which is what we talked about at the beginning of this video in that article, which how FOMO might play into the bull market. And then before you know it, by I don't know when this could happen, but possibly the beginning of November, sometime in October, late November. Before you know it, we're like cruising up and we're just like mooning short term, and we might see some resistance at that like 10K area. And that's kind of what I'm anticipating. Something like that, like 10K area of resistance if a bull market ensues and if we get a reversal based on this $6,000 bottom. So that answers the question of how can this descending bearish triangle lead to a bull market? And really, to put that all together, it happens by support holding extremely strong at 6,000, long volume pouring in, shorts covering, getting squeezed, and then we're off to the races through the top of this triangle. That's what happens in descending triangles when it breaks bullish. That's what would happen. So time will tell to see if it happens. And then we can hop over to more of the short term, because we've started really long term, then we were just talking long term, and now we're kind of like in the day to day where we are right now within this crazy consolidation, within this apex. So we're zoomed in a little bit on the daily, and we have 2 points. Like it's the same 2 points I've always been talking about, which is we have this Fibonacci channel of resistance at the upper trend line, which is so basically the Fibonacci channel, which is basically this swing high to this swing low up to here. We have the 618 right there to the 786 right there. That's our channel of resistance that we're looking for. And it's no coincidence, obviously, that now we are literally just right at the top of that trend line of resistance. So that's on the upside, like that $6,900 to $7,100 area. If you want to look out for resistance, possibly people exiting a trade, it would be probably in this channel at the upper end of this triangle. So we might get a short-term run up to that rectangle. So just be careful. Like I always say these fib channels of resistance is the worst place, in my opinion, to start accumulating. I just don't like it. I know many people, it's like actually the exact place of FOMO, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think you need to be careful when we're like 6-7% up in this channel. Be very careful, because we could bounce off, we could form that lower high, and we can come back down, and then hey, maybe we might test that bottom of the trend line, maybe even that $6,000 area that we just got done talking about. Now, speaking of the downside on the short term, we have the fib channel, the 786 support area, which is basically it is, I believe it's this swing low to I guess it would be right here, this previous lower high. So if we don't make a run up and we actually still go down, that 786 bouncing off that high would be right here at this 6240 area, I believe it is, which is also the bottom of that trend line. So I would just call it 6,400 on the downside. Look for support within this apex. Yes, it is possible even at the very end of this apex, continued consolidation. So look for a first area of support around there. And then secondly, the $6,900 to $7,100 channel, look for resistance there. That's for Bitcoin on the daily chart. Steven Herzog with a super chat. Thanks my dude. Steven says, XRP sucks. Don't talk about that here. Litecoin is the right coin and Bitcoin is king. and I am Zoglord. Steven, what's up, dude? I guess I'm thinking people are in here talking about XRP. So Steven's like trying to shut it down. Steven is not, Zoglord is not happy with XRP. Thanks for the super chat, dude. I appreciate it. I saw some video of you over in Giovanni's Deli in Jersey, and I saw you and Rob over there. I hope you had a good time, man. Me and Sarah, we really wanted to make it, but we just had way too much going on. Partly being we went to see the horses race. It was kind of our date day. But we'll definitely catch up with you soon, man. We definitely will. So just to recap, support resistance areas: $6,900 Bitcoin, $6,200 Bitcoin. Continued consolidation within the apex. Be careful. Be patient. Be patient because, man, everybody wants it to move, including myself. So Litecoin, Poseidon Lou with a $9.99 super chat. Poseidon Lou, you know it's just so unnecessary, dude. Drew Blood 21, I see your little cop car doing work. Rebecca says, look delicious at Giovanni's Mutz. Oh my goodness, it is so good. It is so amazing. We have to go back and get some. Poseidon Lou, thank you for the super chat, man. Poseidon Lou, are you going to be moving over to the East Coast soon? I think it's due for you to kind of live your life with your family over here on the East Coast so we can hang. I think you really should do that. Pennsylvania is beautiful. New York's got some cool spots. So, or at least when Litecoin takes off, just buy a second home out here so we can hang out. Drew Blood 21 says, take him. Hodl Fuel $2.99 for a monster. Hodl Fuel, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Hodl Fuel, if you guys don't know Hodl Fuel, he's doing work with his Hodl Fuel coffee. I love the brand. I love the marketing, but I was just hanging out with this guy over at the Litecoin Summit, and he's just the coolest. He's just such a laid-back guy. So look him up on Twitter, Hodl Fuel, and go follow him and support him because he's doing good work. He's got a cool biz, and he's having some fun with it. And he's actually, man, he's definitely a giver. He's always giving. So go support that guy. Aunt C says, is there something wrong with Bitcoin as why Bitcoin Cash becoming so powerful? I definitely wouldn't classify or define Bitcoin Cash as powerful. I really wouldn't. I don't think it's powerful. So that's my answer there. Chris says no one cares. No one cares what I have to say. All right, so Litecoin. Litecoin obviously is, if you want to watch Litecoin, you have to keep an eye on Bitcoin, which we just did technical analysis on. But pivoting over to Litecoin real quick, just some things to look out for. First of all, what I can do is I just want to paint a picture. And I'm sorry, it's kind of a bearish looking picture, but it's all good. You guys, we're gonna be fine. If you're long term, I really truly think everything's gonna be fine. But for the short term, if we do have another leg down, this zoomed out version of the chart that you're looking at tells the story of like what another leg down looks like. It just keeps happening over and over and over again since we were at like $180. So if it happens again, it's like not a surprise, right? It's not something anybody should be surprised for. There will come a time, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, where we see a bottom. It's going to be a strong bottom. We're going to bounce off that bottom and we're going to see new highs in the market. I don't know when that's going to be, but for now we can only anticipate both sides of this story. So on the downside, same thing with Litecoin. We have this fib channel down here, which is the swing low to swing high to this higher high in this wedge. Back down here to this 618 to 786 channel, which brings us to the bottom of this wedge. So right now that looks like a $58 and you can say $57 Litecoin for an area of support. If right now we're 4 red candles down. So if we continue down, look for that on the downside, $57 to $58 in that support area. If that doesn't hold, definitely be careful. because we could be leading into something like this, and our target on the downside is the same exact thing we did on the previous wedges, which is the length of these wedges, or the width of these wedges, or whatever you want to call it. And for Litecoin, for right now, it's around $47, $48 Litecoin. I tweeted that the other day, just kind of a reminder, putting that out there. And you know, it's kind of a bearish tweet, but I want to be real. I want to be honest with everybody that it's something to at least prepare for. This area right here, our next area of short-term support for Litecoin, it could happen. So if that happened, we're talking about, 20% downside, 20% downside. So be careful out there. I hope I'm not like getting people unsubscribed, but it's totally possible. I just want to say that it's totally achievable. Now on the upside, same thing. Our target would be the length of the wedge, right, with a breakout to the upside. So we still have some. I mean, let's measure how far we are from the upside for starters on Litecoin. That upper trend line, we're around 16%, 16%. So if Litecoin forms a bottom here, if Litecoin actually ends up breaking through the top end of this, the upper end trend line, if Litecoin breaks through, it's going to be a 15+% gain, and that's going to be reflective of some really nice gains for Bitcoin. And I just want to just show you what that could possibly look like. So 15% gains for Bitcoin, right, would mean Litecoin also, and this is just 95% of the time what happens, right? They follow each other. Litecoin, they're both in a bull market, 15% gains. Bitcoin breaking this previous lower high, right? Breaking through the upper trend line of resistance in this huge triangle. So this could really be reflective of the bottom. So if Bitcoin does break that fib channel, breaks the trend line, breaks the 200 EMA, and we're at 15% gains at $7,500, right? Then Litecoin will be doing its thing, most likely. It's not a guarantee, but it's most likely doing its thing, breaking upper trend line, and seeing some really nice gains in terms of breaking that upper trend line, and then possibly hitting its targets, which the target would be, and I need to measure this. Let's measure it real quick. And this is pretty bad, pretty lousy way of measuring it, but I would call the breakout area of like $80 or so for Litecoin if it does break. So $80 from where we are is quite a ways to go, and it's a very bullish scenario. You can see $80 would be right around 33% on the upside. So that's definitely indicative of a bull market ensuing, and very indicative of a reversal in the markets. So that's on the upside. Now, you hear me talking about, just an $80 Litecoin in a bull market? And that's simply because in a bull market, if it ensues, like, we're going to have our runs, and then we're going to have our pullbacks. Like, nothing is going to change in terms of the volatility of Bitcoin and Litecoin. So we can have like just some really green days. We can hit $80, $85 Litecoin, but it's totally possible that we come back down and revisit like $65, right? So like, we're always going to be tracking the Fibonacci levels, the support levels, new patterns that are forming to see where support and resistance are. And we're always going to be tracking these things so that mainly we don't get emotional and we don't FOMO into uptrends, and we're prepared for downtrends so that we can buy the dip. That's exactly what we do on this channel. So those are my thoughts. Scotty Be Cool, what's up, man? Next coffee on me from Boston. Scotty Be Cool, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Next coffee on me from Boston. You got to try some Hotafels coffee. I'm sure Boston's got some really good coffee. But Scotty Be Cool, thank you so much for your super chat. I also recognize you from over there on Twitter land. It's good to see you here. Benjamin 7. I like that name, Benjamin 7. Love your work, Danny. I think it's LTC lottery soon. Benjamin 7, I appreciate it. Is the LTC lottery coming up? I gotta, maybe if somebody can confirm for me. Nick LTC is here. Is is Rob's lottery coming up? Because I'm getting done over here on the I'm getting done on this technical analysis. So you can see Litecoin can see some good gains, Bitcoin can see some good gains, but at the end of the day, the technical analysis is just to be prepared. I'm long-term bullish, everybody. Everybody knows that. But for me right now, I think it's way more profitable to be very keenly prepared for possible downside. It's very profitable. It can be very good and wise to be prepared for a $47 Litecoin. So it's something to just be ready for, just in case it happens, because you'll be able to accumulate. So all in all, at the end of the day, just check your portfolio, check your mind, check your life. Sit down, chat with whoever you need to chat with about, hey, should I buy some more Bitcoin? That's what I do. I'm always telling Sarah about my technical analysis and like what I'm doing and what we're seeing on the charts. I'm like, Sarah, like, well, when do you think we should accumulate a little bit more, like a little bit more than we've been? And I'm married, so I feel like it's important to kind of have that conversation, because Sarah and I we're definitely in these markets together. So be wise about how you invest. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose, obviously, but also just be prepared. I don't want to see anybody not prepared for dips, right? If we get another one, if the bottom isn't in yet, and then if we do take off, are you ready? That's the other question to ask on the flip side. Are you ready for blast off? So that's kind of my thoughts right there. And I think that's it for the day, right? I think I went over everything. I had this one open just to kind of end with, which is Litecoin zoomed out. Litecoin zoomed out. And it gives a really nice picture of the movements of Litecoin. And you can see the bear market. Boom. And you can see this bear market. Boom. So the question is, at the end of the day, right? And this is the ultimate question I ask myself. At the end of the day, if we're only halfway there, and then the bottom is the bottom of this trend line, right? And this is like a question personally I ask myself, because I feel like it's important to be able to answer with conviction. If the bottom is the bottom of this trend line, and the market is about to get crazy messy, right? And a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. If that happens, am I okay with where my portfolio is? This is that extreme contrast analysis. It's taking the worst possible scenario almost and just saying, hey, is that okay? And it's taking the best case scenario, right, up here. And am I okay with where I am right now? And answering the question. So if we came back down to this bottom of this scenario, this channel, like $25 and below, which, right, Charlie Lee said $25. Are you cool with that? Are you okay with that? And are you ready to buy some more, accumulate more? Do you believe in this market enough to invest in a market that is that volatile and could happen? I'm not sitting here saying it's going to, but it's utilizing conservative wisdom to be prepared for it. This very well could be the bottom right here, and we can be cruising back up, right? So time will tell. Time will tell. Tech Lord says if it goes there, I'll buy $20,000 worth of Litecoin. Poseidon Lou says I'm selling my kids. That's messed up. Poseidon Lou, that's hilarious. Hodl Fuel says bring it, time to buy more. I love how everybody in here is just like, bring it. I'm going to buy more if that happens. Jim Flanagan says the variable I see is that it's Q4 and I feel the bears have had it for too long. It's possible. A lot of people think it's going to be that shift now from the bears to the bulls. One thing I always find interesting is just the date range of this bear market back here, right, to that bottom. We have 518 days. And then this bear market to where we are only 301 days basically in. So really interesting to see the length of time, right? So I don't think it's going to last as long as last time. That's why I don't really think we're going to make it down here. I really don't, but time will tell. As always, nobody knows. I'm not going to keep talking about it. So everybody, appreciate you coming by. I know Rob Boiling Point is doing a Litecoin lottery. Not sure exactly when, but if you're not following him on Twitter, go follow him. Rob or somebody, or Drew Blood or somebody can post a link to his, I think he's going to be doing a live stream on YouTube. If somebody wants to post a link here for that, that would be cool. And go check it out. Litecoin lottery, transactions in real time, people entering this lottery over the last week. And now Rob will be picking a winner. And it looks like Bitcoin Ben has like I don't know, half the chart, half of the wheel, right? Split up into 4 sections. So that's it, everybody. Appreciate all you coming by. Obviously, I will see you all in that next video. Be careful out there. Trade safely. Invest safely. Have an awesome, awesome night. Appreciate each and every one of you. God bless.